Hi Girl Scouts, my name is Sue. I'm with the Girl Scouts of Wisconsin Southeast. We are located in the southeast corner of the state of Wisconsin in the Midwest, next to Lake Michigan, one of our country's Great Lakes. Today we're going to learn a little bit more about our solar system. Our solar system spreads out across space. It's much larger than you might think that it is. Our solar system is made up of planets and moons, asteroids, comets, and dust that all orbit or move around the sun. We're going to venture through our solar system by completing step 1 of the Junior Space Science Investigator badge, where you will create a scale model of our solar system. Have you ever heard of the term scale model before? Scientists and engineers use models for both their research and to help communicate discoveries. A scale model is a copy of an object that is either smaller or larger than the original object it is modeled after. Each part of the object is adjusted in the same way. To give you a few examples, architects create small scale models of the structures they are going to build, and scientists make large scale models of insects so that they can more easily study them. Have you ever seen a large set of teeth model at the dentist's office? That's another example of a scale model that helps dentists show children how to properly take care of their teeth. Scale models are very important tools that scientists use all the time because they are helpful in understanding and explaining how things work. They help us understand things that are too big to see all at once or too small to see at all. To create a scale model of our solar system, it will take you about 30 minutes. You will need a couple of sheets of paper, some scissors and tape. If you don't have scissors, that's okay. You can just tear your paper. And you'll also want something to write with. I would suggest a marker versus a pen because the marker will be easier to see when you're outside. You'll also need something sharp enough that you can stick into the ground because we're going to make flags. So a couple of examples would be bamboo skewers or a plastic spoon. This one's kind of hard to see on camera because it's clear, but you can stick, the bottom part of the handle in to the ground. You could also use a sharpened pencil or even like disposable chopsticks. There might even be some fallen sticks from a tree in your backyard that you could use as well. And what we're going to do is we need to prepare the supplies by making flags. And so you can see a few behind me, but the flags are going to look like this. You will put all 8 planets' names on a flag as well as the sun. Don't forget the sun. So I have Jupiter and Uranus here, and you see when I turn it around, I just use tape to tape the sheet of paper to my bamboo skewer. So don't forget you need 9. 8 for the planets and then 1 for the sun, so 9 total. Do you know the order of the planets? We'll go through them one by one outside, but let's just go over them right now. The planet that is closest to the sun is Mercury. Venus is the second planet from the sun, then Earth, then Mars. Jupiter is next. Saturn is the 6th planet from the sun. Uranus is the 7th planet from the sun, and Neptune is the furthest planet from the sun, or 8th planet. Don't worry if you can't remember them again. We're going to go through these one by one when we're making our scale model outside. And once you have your supplies ready, go ahead and head outside with an adult on a nice weather day to make your scale model of the solar system. Make sure to watch the rest of this video on a cell phone so you can watch the video and follow the activity instructions at the same time while you're outside. You will need a big enough space that you can take about 100 steps in a straight line. So if your backyard isn't big enough, you could walk along your block or in another large open green space that's available to you. Once you've found your space for your scale model outside, you are going to start by placing your sun flag into the ground on one end of your space that you're using. This is going to be the start of our solar system model. Now I'm going to ask you to take a certain number of steps away from the sun, and each step will represent approximately 30 million miles in the real solar system. That is a huge number. Can you imagine how much 30 million miles is? When I'm giving you directions to take steps to place your next flag, I'm also going to show you a picture of the planet and share some interesting facts about each planet with you. Are you ready to get going? All right, can you tell me what planet is closest to the sun? If you answered Mercury, you are correct. So I want you to stand by your sun and then take one step away from the sun to place your Mercury flag into the ground. I'm going to show you a picture of Mercury. Mercury is about 36 million miles away from the sun. And Mercury is a very rocky and has lots of craters on it. What planet do you think is next closest to the sun? If you answered Venus, you are correct again. Now this time, I want you to stand by your Mercury sign and take one more step away from the sun in the same direction to place your Venus sign. So you should be a total of 2 steps away from the sun right now. Place your Venus sign right there in the ground. Here's a picture of Venus. Venus is about 67 million miles away from the sun. Venus is the brightest planet in the sky, and it's covered by clouds that trap heat to a scorching temperature of 864 degrees. Yikes. What planet comes next? Earth is our next planet closest to the sun. To place your Earth flag, I want you to stand by Venus this time and take one more step away from the sun in the same direction. So now you should be a total of 3 steps away from the sun. Pretty sure we all know what Earth looks like, but Earth is about 93 million miles away from the sun. The official name scientists have for this distance is 1 astronomical unit. Earth is also the densest planet, which simply means it's heavy and really compact. Next, we are going to find Mars. When standing by Earth, take one more step away from the sun in the same direction to place your Mars flag. So now you should be a total of 4 steps away from the sun. Here's a picture of Mars. Mars is the last of the inner planets and is about 142 million miles away from the sun. Mars has frozen polar caps, just like the North and South poles that we have here on Earth. And like I said, Mars is an inner planet. So Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars are all considered inner planets. They are on the smaller size and they're made up of rock and metal. Now we're going to move into our outer planets. You're going to start to take some more steps here. These huge planets are made of big clouds of gas and liquid and are often called the gas giants. Gravity pulls the gas and liquid into a planet shape. Jupiter is our first gas giant. When standing by Mars, take 9 steps away from the sun in the same direction that you've been going already to place your Jupiter flag down. Okay, so stand by Mars, take 9 steps this time to place down your Jupiter flag. Jupiter is the 5th planet from the sun. It's 483 million miles away from the sun. It has a giant spinning storm called the Great Red Spot that has been observed by scientists for more than 300 years. Do you know what planet is next in our order from the sun? If you said Saturn, you're right. Good job. To place your Saturn flag, stand by Jupiter and this time take 12 more steps. Still going in the same direction. We're always going to go in the same direction. Place your Saturn flag down there. Here's a picture of Saturn. Saturn is about 885 million miles away from the sun. Saturn has thousands of beautiful rings, which are made of billions of rocks, dust, and ice particles. The other gas giants also have rings, but the rings on Saturn are the most noticeable. Uranus comes next. Uranus is the 7th farthest planet from our sun. For this planet's flag, you're going to start by Saturn and take 25 steps away from the sun. 25 more steps to place your Uranus sign down. Here's a picture of Uranus. Uranus is almost 2 billion miles away from the sun. All of Uranus's moons are named after Shakespearean characters. And our last planet, Neptune. Neptune is the 8th planet that is the furthest away from the sun. For Neptune, you are going to stand by Uranus and take 28 steps away from the sun. And that's where you'll place your Neptune flag. So now you're about a total of 103 steps away from the sun. Wow. Here's a picture of Neptune. Neptune is almost 3 billion miles away from the sun. It is a large gassy planet, and its beautiful blue color comes from a layer of methane gas. If you haven't yet, turn around and look back at all of your flags. The farther away you go, the sun will look smaller and smaller, and the inner planets will become harder to see. The planets in our solar system are not exactly like the planet model you just made. Do you know how they're different? The actual planets orbit or move around the sun at different speeds. Because of this, they are not in a straight line from the sun, but they are in different places within their orbit. Today, we modeled the relative distance of the planets from each other and the sun. We did not model their actual location around the sun while in orbit. We also didn't model their size. Remember that the inner 4 planets are much smaller while the outer 4 planets are much larger. The planets that you can really see in this picture are our outer giants. These planets right here, which are very tiny on the screen, these are our 4 inner planets. You can see in this picture the size difference between the planets. If you wanted to take this scale model a step further, you could do this activity again and find objects in your house that represent the different sizes of the sun and planets by using measurements to measure the diameter of your objects relative to their true size. For example, the sun is about 100 times bigger than the Earth. So if you picked a popcorn seed to represent the Earth, what around your house do you think would be 100 times bigger that could represent the sun? Here's another question for you while you look at your model that you just created. Do you think the sun is as bright on the outer planets, again, the planets that are farther away from the sun, as it is on the inner planets, which are closer to the sun? If you said no, you're right. The outer planets do get some sunlight from the sun, but not as much as the Earth does. And if we know that the heat from the sun helps to keep us warm, can you imagine how cold it is on Uranus and Neptune? I looked it up, and on Neptune, it is negative 353 degrees Fahrenheit. Yikes. When you are done with your scale model, please remember to pick up your flags to make sure you leave no trace. Awesome job! You just completed step 1 from the Junior Space Science Investigator badge. I hope you had some fun. Did you like this activity? Did you learn something new about our solar system? Were you surprised by how much space there really is in our solar system? Can you think of any other examples of a scale model besides the solar system that you just made that you could do? If you are interested in earning the award for this badge, you can complete the other 4 steps, which include learning more about our sun, discovering other stars, using tools to explore, and sharing your sky with others. Thanks for making a scale model solar system with me. Be sure to check out our Girl Scouts at Home webpage for other opportunities. And if you're not a Girl Scout and want to join, go to girlscouts.org to learn more. Bye!